The Fisherman and His Wife. There was once a poor fisherman who lived with his wife, in a tiny shack by the sea. And each morning, the fisherman would go down to the beautiful blue seashore. And he would take his little boat out onto the water and go fishing for hours. One day, as he was watching the waves on the horizon, he was getting kind of bored, as he had caught no fish all day. But then he felt a tug on his line. Tug, 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 tug. And he pulled a big, shiny, silver-scaled flounder out of the sea. Bloop, 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 bloop. "Oh," said the fish, "I beg you, please let me go, Mr. Fisherman. You see, I am not a real fish. I am actually an enchanted prince. I would not taste good to eat, so please return me to the sea." "Prince or no prince," said the fisherman, "I could not be eating a talking fish. Surely you deserve to be free." And so he put the silver-scaled flounder back into the water, and the enchanted fish thanked the fisherman and swam down deep into the sea. "Thank you." Bloop, 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 bloop. But the sea was no longer a beautiful blue, but an eerie green. How odd, thought the fisherman. But still he called out, "Oh, magic fish in the sea, listen please, and come to me." Bloop, 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 bloop. "What is it, fisherman? Why have you called me so?" "Oh," said the fisherman, feeling embarrassed, "my wife sent me back to you. She says that you are a magic fish, and that I should have made a wish." "Well, what is your wish?" "It's my wife, actually. She would like to live in a nice cottage and have a fine new dress." "Go home," said the magic fish. "She has her wish." And sure enough, when the fisherman got home, there was no dingy old shack, but a beautiful white cottage with a big green door, and chickens and ducks in the yard, and a garden full of vegetables. He went inside the cottage, and it was warm and cozy, and there his wife stood in her beautiful new dress in the kitchen, preparing a fine dinner. "Oh, husband," she exclaimed, "isn't it lovely? Didn't I tell you that he would grant our wish?" "Wife, I am so glad that you are happy in our new cottage. Surely we will be happy here, for what else could we possibly need?" And so they had dinner and went to bed. And for a week everything was wonderful, and the fisherman had never felt so content, until one day his wife started complaining that the cottage was too small and too plain. "Husband, you will go back to the magic fish, and you will tell him to be a grand lady is what I wish. I wish to live in a big castle and have a fine red dress and fine red shoes to match." "Oh, but wife," said the fisherman, "the cottage is perfect. It is all that we could ever need. Go, husband, I will be a fine lady." Not wanting to anger his wife, the fisherman agreed and walked back down to the sea. But the sea was no longer an eerie green, but a deep, foreboding blue. Nervously, the fisherman called out, "Oh, magic fish in the sea, listen please, and come to me." Blub, 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 blub. "What is it now?" asked the magic fish. "It's my wife," said the fisherman, looking down ashamed. "She wishes to be a fine lady and live in a castle with a fine red dress and fine red shoes to match." "Go home," said the magic fish. "She has her wish." Bloop, 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 bloop. And the fish swam back down into the deep blue sea. And when the fisherman went back home, he saw it was so. There in the doorway of a big gold castle stood his wife in a fine red dress and fine red shoes to match. Inside the castle, everything shone brightly with silver and bronze, and there were elaborate tapestries on the walls, and they had the finest furniture with the finest food to dine on. Now, my wife, you are a fine lady, and you must have everything you could possibly want. Surely now you will be happy. And so she was, for 2 days. Husband, husband, come quick! What is it, wife? I need you to go back to the sea. You see, a fine lady is not enough. I must be queen. Go back to the magic fish and tell him what I wish. But wife, surely you do not need to be a queen. We have everything and more that we could need. He did not want to go back to the magic fish. Wife, what if I anger the magic fish? Nonsense! Now go! And with his head hung low, he walked back to the sea. But the sea was no longer a foreboding blue, but a raging black. The fisherman was scared, but still he called out, "Oh, magic fish in the sea, listen, please, and come to me." What could she possibly wish for now? Asked the magic fish, who was clearly annoyed. I'm so sorry, magic fish, but my wife, she wishes to be queen. Okay, go home, said the magic fish. She has her wish. When the fisherman returned home, the golden castle was no more, and in its place stood a giant white marble palace with golden towers. When he went inside, everything was covered in golden jewels. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceilings. Golden tables were covered with the most delicious food you could think of. And there he found his wife, wearing a big golden crown and a purple velvet cape. She was sitting on a throne made of gold and diamonds. Oh, now, my wife, you are queen. There is nothing more you could possibly wish for. Now be happy with me. After they had a delicious feast, they went to sleep in the biggest, comfiest bed the fisherman could ever imagine. But in the morning, when the queen woke, as she looked out of her tower window over the beautiful landscape and the sun rising over the mountains, a thought struck her. Husband! Husband, wake up! And she poked the fisherman in the ribs until he awoke from his peaceful sleep. What is it, wife? Husband, you must go back to the magic fish. I have another wish. What? The fisherman jumped out of the big comfy bed, spread his arms wide. What could you possibly wish for now? The wife pointed out the window. Do you see how beautiful the landscape is right now, with the sun just coming over the mountains and glistening over the sea? Her husband agreed that it was most beautiful. Well, I must be able to control the sun and the moon so that they will rise and set at my command. Now go and make it so. The fisherman was shocked. How could his wife wish such a thing? He was ashamed to go back to the fish and make such a wish. But slowly he walked back down to the sea. When the fisherman got to the shore, he saw that the sea was no longer a raging black, but a garish red. And though the fisherman was afraid, he still called out, "Oh, magic fish in the sea, listen please, and come to me." Blub, 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 blub. What could she possibly wish for now? Asked the angry fish. The fisherman couldn't even look at the fish for shame of his wife's elaborate wish. He twisted his hat and he looked at his feet. My wife demands I make another wish. She wishes to control the sun and the moon, that they might rise and set at her command. The angry fish let out a big sigh. Go home, fisherman. Bloop, 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 bloop. And the magic fish disappeared back down into the sea. When the fisherman returned home to his little shack, he was very tired. "Husband, did you catch no fish for our dinner?" asked his wife. "No, wife," he replied sadly. "I only caught one fish today, but he was a talking fish, and he said he was an enchanted prince, so of course I let him go." "You nincompoop!" his wife said. "That was a magic fish, the kind that makes wishes come true. You should have made a wish." "But we have everything we need," said the fisherman. "What could I possibly wish for?" The fisherman's wife looked at him sternly. "Now listen, husband. Tomorrow you will go back to the sea and ask the magic fish for a beautiful cottage and a nice new fine dress for me." The fisherman did not want his wife to be angry with him, so he agreed. And the next morning the fisherman went back down to the sea.